Welcome to Sound Beginnins, the Sound Birth Services podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Tessman, mother of two, an international board-certified lactation consultant, childbirth educator, and former doula and early childhood educator. I've spent 20 years supporting families, and I'm here to share insights, tips, and stories about childbirth and infant feeding. Whether you're expecting your first baby, navigating infant feeding, or you're a perinatal professional adding to your skills and knowledge, this podcast is your trusted resource for expert, evidence-based advice and heartfelt conversations, empowering you with the knowledge and confidence to nurture your growing family. Be sure to follow me on social media at Sound Births, or connect with me at my website at soundbirths.ca. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Sound Beginnins Podcast. This morning I'm chatting with my friend Kirsten Werner, who is an RMT, a former doula. She wears many hats in our community. Really excited to chat with you this morning. Kira, can you tell us more about yourself?
Yeah, hi Pamela. I am located in Cumberland, BC, and all the things that Pamela just said. I'm a massage therapist. I've been working as a massage therapist since 2008. I started my career in the wellness world as an aromatherapy massage practitioner and then transitioned into becoming an RMT. I was a doula for 18 years. I also teach baby massage, and I run a clinic, a home-based clinic with other practitioners. And then I recently have just added doing wellness business coaching for other health and wellness practitioners who are wanting to get support within the business side of things. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's busy.
It is busy, but I figured out balance in there as well.
Yeah. I guess after that many years, you kind of start to figure it out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
right.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome because you've been involved in our perinatal community for a really long time and kind of know the ins and outs. And you've been kind of an inspiration to a lot of folks in the Valley who are just starting up with that kind of thing. And now you can be an inspiration for all the new RMTs and the clinic owners.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. My daughter has been doing more nannying and childcare, and it's cool to see her working with babies and kids and stuff. But one of the things that I didn't anticipate is that when she goes to work for someone, they're always like, we know who your parents are and they're amazing. Yeah. And I'm always like, oh, that's so cool. Because sometimes when you've lived in a community for so long, you don't even think about it. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting that the newcomers have heard about the services that I offer too. So It's just cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's far-reaching. So you've been based in Cumberland since 2009, and you have pretty strong ties to the community. So how has living and working in the Comox Valley influenced your approach to wellness?
Yeah, well, I moved up here from Victoria in 2009, and so it was definitely a shift because I'd been graduated from massage school for about a year. And then I got a job at a clinic that was based downtown behind a doctor's office. And most people in Cumberland, like there was massage therapists here, but I would say like the understanding of what massage therapy can do and the benefits from it were sort of confused perhaps with like, I had a massage once when I went to the resort down in Mexico. And so I did a lot of like educating in the beginning about the benefits of massage, and also had to educate about the word doula, because like you can say doula, and everyone's like, what does a doula do? I'm sure you've heard it before. So it was different than Victoria when I came here. It took a bit more of like, let me explain more and attend different classes and do info nights. But the other thing that I saw was that everyone's like, you live in Cumberland, so obviously you have to mountain bike. Yeah. And I tried it and I was so scared. And then as I worked in my practice, I was like, everybody has broken arms and is hurt. So I really saw how active this community is. And I'm being reminded of that again, because now I'm working with a lot of post-surgical clients, and the gusto that the Comox Valley has to get back on that bike is very high. And so sometimes you have to remind them like, actually, you're in the healing stage. Like, it's okay to rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I recognize that in myself. Even in my own injuries, I will try to do too much and rake up all the leaves with one hand. But yeah, it's just a reminder that it's okay to rest, because this community is very active.
Yeah,
Very, very
it
active.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of that in
Mhm.
my practice as a doula too, where
Yeah.
people are like, "Hey, let's go do this," and then
Yeah.
like, "Oh, my bleeding has started to get heavy again, and I should probably slow down."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Exactly. Hmm.
So you've got over 2 decades of experience,
Hmm.
which is incredible. So what would you say has been the most impactful lesson in your journey from your early aromatherapy days to now as an RMT?
Yeah. I think I am one of those healthcare practitioners that's taken lots of courses, and that's really fun and you learn things. But honestly, the way that I have learned the most is firsthand, it happening to me. So me having a hospital birth and a home birth and understanding what that looks like. Having a doula myself and learning from that experience. But then also branching off of that is like, it's not like I suggest that you should get injured to learn about an injury, but that is what has happened, is that I have learned more from things happening within my own body to understand, like, wow, that took a little longer than I thought. And really understanding the mindset that you go through. So it's great to know like the muscles that are involved or the round ligament that might get affected, but also like understanding that feeling of being pregnant, where you're pregnant and you're in the first like 3 weeks and nobody knows. And so being able to hold the space for people when they come in for a prenatal massage and maybe they have not told anybody else. Like I might be one of the first people that knows, and then going along that journey with them. And that goes into all the things that I've done. It's not necessarily, like I said, about the techniques. It's about having that safe space that people can come into, and there's that understanding. And maybe it's not an exact thing that it's like, oh, I've exactly been through that, but it's more understanding that, like I said, that mindset that might come along with that experience that they're having, and having the space to ask them questions and really hear their story. You could throw in the words of being trauma informed and all of that, but I think in the end, it's just making sure that clients like know that this treatment is a space where they can tell me things. And the more that happens, the better the treatment's going to be, because that trust is really built. So, yeah.
And I imagine that settles their nervous system a lot, is just
Yeah.
safe in your
Yeah.
space and in your hands. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So recently you've just completed really extensive training through the mastectomy guide for health professionals. Could you tell us about how this training has shaped your approach to working with post-surgical clients?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been really lucky to have connected with Erin Price, RMT, and she started the Mastectomy Guide Academy, and it's new. I first connected with her in 2021, and she sort of put a reach out in our BCRMT Facebook page, like who would be interested in learning more about mastectomy massage, and a bunch of people were like, yeah. So she put together her course in Victoria, and I drove down and went to it. And that was in October 2021. And it was interesting, even just doing that, I immediately started having people reach out to me. And then in December 2021, I was in a car accident that left me unable to work, but I still stayed in touch with her and watched what she was doing. And I ended up taking a SCAR course with her and another RMT named Kathy Ryan, who's based out of Smithers and does a lot of SCAR work, and just connecting with other massage therapists who are learning this. And in that class, she was like, this is my next idea, is a 6-month academy. And I was like, I'm all in. I love that idea. And so I'm trying to think, I guess January 2023 was our very first one. And myself and another RMT at my clinic, Jen, both joined into the academy. Now, I already had a bunch of training with her, so I sort of joined in like a modified version, and Jen went for the full thing because she hadn't taken her courses yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's amazing work that's really needed. Like the rates of breast cancer are increasing all the time. Again, it leads into sort of that mindful approach to treatment. But the other part for me personally is that it's very gentle, light work. And so you're providing a treatment to somebody who's going through a lot of medical treatments. And again, you're coming in where you want their body to feel safe and nurtured. So that could be a post C-section, that could be post breast surgery, that could be post top surgery. So you're also carving out the appointment time to be catered towards the inclusiveness of this specific appointment. So even though the approach to scars can be similar, each appointment is made for that specific person.
Right.
So yeah, I've been loving it, and it's really cool to see the people that are reaching out to us. We've had people reach out from Qualicum, Parksville. We're the only 2 RMTs with this training north of Nanaimo. We've had a surgeon come to our clinic and meet with us for the morning, Dr. Thompson, and want to connect with us so that she can refer her clients directly to us. And so that collaborative care is huge. And yeah, it's just really nice how Erin's designed this course, and she's given a lot of that for the people that participate in the course to learn to sort of how you go out there. And then the other side note is that I've actually started teaching with it as well. So I also do the teaching portion of it, which is more about how to get your message out there with the marketing and the online booking. So that kind of leans more into my like wellness business coaching side, but giving the massage therapist those tools as well. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got to experience your treatment firsthand because, as you know, I had a breast reduction 6-7 years ago. And so for those listening, I had a massage with Kirsten, even though my scars are, quite old now, but the treatment itself was just so lovely. It made me realize how much I needed that self-care in general. And of course, your hands were able to just sort of like sense where things were holding. And and it was just a really nice experience of just being cared for, and the space and the sort of feeling of the space was obviously very thoroughly thought about. Like I could tell you put a lot of time into making that space really comfortable. So I can only imagine what others are going through when they come into your space. If if they're dealing with cancer treatment and top surgery and all those things, they definitely benefit from that space itself and your energy being really kind and caring. Yeah, it's so valuable. So
that intention is really there, and that I really love too. We're in a very busy world, and so if you're a parent out there, you're thinking you might be doing something and trying to think of what you make for dinner. But in those moments when I'm in those treatments, what I actually really love about it is how grounded I can get and just be like, this is where I am right now. And it's really beautiful.
For the listeners who may be considering post-surgery massage, what benefits or support does it offer during recovery?
Yeah, so I think we've touched on some there, which is just having, first of all, that holding that space. But to get into more the benefits of the physical portion of it is the scar mobility. So scars can really anchor. So a scar is often, if you think about it like an iceberg, you have the top of the iceberg peeking out, and then you have all the bottom of the iceberg under the water that we can't see. And that's a lot like scars. So you could have the little scar here, but actually the scar tissue underneath can go quite deep and go to other areas of the body. Wow. So I'll often explain to clients, like say something like a C-section scar, that if you have a scar and it's at the base, it could still move my, like I'm down by my belly right now, but it's still, see how it's moving my sweater up here.
Mm-hmm.
That can tie in. You can have people that go and have C-sections and they're like, yeah, my right shoulder's killing me. It must be from the baby.
Wow.
But there's actually like a fascial line that's going down to that scar. So scar mobility is huge. Reducing pain. A lot of the times there's a lot of pain after. And supporting the healing and the tissues to heal that area and reduce the scarring too. I think a lot of the times people are really looking for that softening in the scar visually for themselves. So yeah, just getting it flexible and functional. And then same with people that are coming in for like top surgery, it can help to manage the swelling, or breast cancer surgery too can help to manage the swelling. There are different cases there. So like often if you have somebody coming in with breast cancer, they're in the midst of dealing with medical appointments and there's an uncertainty happening there, versus when you have somebody coming in with top surgery, they've made that decision and they're feeling pretty excited. So in a way that treatment can be a celebration. So that's just part of it. And then it's also, reconnecting with the body is huge too. Often people are like, I haven't touched the scar yet. And that's okay, because they feel scared to touch it, or they're not ready to connect with it. And so one of the home care exercises that I'll give is just like with clothes on, just like placing your hands at that scar and just sitting with it and recognizing it. And that can really help because it gets you connected with that part of your body again.
So let's switch gears a little bit, because you have so many hats that you wear. I want to hit them all because I want to, get deep into all of them.
You should be changing hats while we're talking.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. So how do you approach creating a comfortable environment for children in your pediatric massage sessions? And what have you found to be most effective in engaging your younger clients?
Yeah, kids massage is amazing. A lot of the things that have happened in my career have just happened organically. So I started having kids coming into my practice, and the Comox Valley is a very word of mouth. And so people are like, it was just like they were just booking in and it said 30-minute registered massage therapy. But parents started sharing. They're like, Kirsten does kids massage. And I was like, I guess, yes. But I've had kids myself and I love working with this population. And so, now it is on my booking site. You can book in for a kids massage. And that means for 12 and under. If they're 13 and over, they still can come in for a massage. It's just we're catering it differently. So when they come in, I want to make them feel comfortable as soon as they come in. They're often hiding behind the parent's leg or whatever. The parent is coming into the room. They get a specific intake form that's for the kid. And I ask different things that they might like ahead of time, such as like music. And then when they come in, the first thing that they usually see is a little fox stuffy, and it's tucked into the massage bed and it's just sitting there. And they're always like, ooh. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's Foxy. Foxy always shows up early and wants to have a massage. And so we have lots of Fox things because my husband's last name is Fox and my daughter's last name is Fox. So this Fox stuffy is there. And it just already puts them at ease. I have 2 chairs set up, one for them, one for the parent. And we then go into teaching them about what a massage is, what it would look like. And I get to show them on Foxy, but I also get to teach them about consent. And even in my baby massage classes, I talk about consent with the baby, but now we're talking with kids, so I can talk to them about being like, you are in charge of your own body. And I'm only going to touch the areas that are okay with you today. And that can change, I've learned each session. And so they get to see that. They get to see me like showing how I take out Foxy's little arm and I'm like, see how the blanket's still over Foxy's body? And I'm just massaging the arm. And then they get to see go up and down. So it's really like a session. But What I do love about it is watching their breathing change once they're on the table and just they down regulate. Some kids I've worked with who have autism, and they might be fixated on a word in the beginning. And by the end, it's gone so slow, but then their sentence structure is changing at the end as well.
Wow.
And they're able to really articulate themselves. And yeah, it's fascinating.
Cool.
And yeah, so the parent stays in the room and they get that. And then, like I said, the next time they show up, Foxy might be in a different spot. Foxy might show up on a shelf by the salt lamp or something.
Just to watch.
Yeah, but it's really fun. And I have done massages to Frozen, like not your typical massage music. Yeah, it's been great. I love
it go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good massage song.
It's a great massage song. And same thing, active kids. I have had 4-year-olds who are on BMX doing full, like, I got a bike flip. And I'm like, you're 4. You started walking 3 years ago. Active kids. So, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I understand that. I've got 2
you
boys.
do. Of course you do.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's wild. So could you share a bit about the benefits of the infant and toddler massage and why you believe it's such an important skill for parents to learn?
Yeah. So I took the baby massage training with the International Association of Infant Massage in 2009. We also touched upon it in massage school as well. And one of the things that I love about baby massage is it's really simple. And so the first thing I tell parents when I'm teaching a class is like, you don't have to be an RMT. This has been around the world for generations, and there's different cultures where it's really part of having a baby. So the woman that started the association, she originally in the 70s volunteered at an orphanage in India. And when she was working there, she saw the other people that worked at the orphanage massaging the babies with sesame oil. And she saw how much the babies got out of it and how good it was for their own development, because they were in a situation that was difficult, right? Difficult for those growing and development aspects, but they were still flourishing. So she brought that back into her own world and gave massage to her own babies. And then people are like, I want to learn that. And she taught it in her living room, and then it became bigger and bigger and bigger. Wow. And so, yeah, you can do baby massage anywhere, and you can do it with oil or without oil, and you can do it while you're traveling. But there's a few different benefits, and often when people sign up for baby massage, the top reasons that they want is sleep, for sure. They're like, oh, sleep. I always think parenting would be amazing if it came with good sleep, like, but it doesn't. And then the other part they always say is digestion, and then teething often comes up. And those are things that we addressed in the class. So it can do improve sleep patterns. I have done just mini intro classes at the little village store, and then afterwards got a text from the mom being like, oh my God, my baby slept for 2 hours afterwards.
Oh, lovely.
So that part's good. And then it can help with all the systems in the body. It can help with increased flexibility. They're learning cross-body motions, and brain development can help with that as well. But also it's just really cute, and with 10 babies getting massaged. And if they all happen to sync up, which oddly does happen, where say they're getting a face massage and they're all zenning out, and you just have to see this sea of these zenned out babies happening. And then they often sync up with all crying together at the same time too. Right. But yeah, I do the baby massage, and then the toddler massage. I don't teach those classes as often, but it's the same thing, kind of like doing a kid's massage. It's a bit more games, make a pizza on the back, those kind of things. And I do think often people are like, baby massage, I'm going to do baby massage. Oh, they're not a baby anymore, so I'm not going to do massage, but it is throughout their life.
Right. And I imagine it's probably not as complicated as parents think it is, right?
It's really, really not. And everything that I'm teaching in class can be done in a different order, and you can focus on what the baby does like. You can teach the siblings to do it, grandparents to do it. I really like it for like a partner that's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to come back and connect with the baby. So, yeah.
I was going to say, it's nice for maybe a non-feeding parent to be able to bond with their baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Your work emphasizes not just physical relief, but also empowering clients to take an active role in their own self-care.
Yeah.
What self-care practices do you encourage clients to incorporate outside of massage therapy sessions?
Yeah, self-care, I was thinking about this. I always want to be like careful about self-care because it is a big word these days, and so is wellness. And you can get really into sort of that trend. And I think from me going through like my own recovery and like recovering from my car accident, I want to emphasize the self-care in simplicity and kindness. And sometimes that's the best place to start, is just up here with having self-compassion for yourself. Because again, we're in a very active community. I'm an active individual myself. And when you set these goals that maybe are unrealistic, then all of a sudden that is giving you the feedback of failure. So really with self-care, it could be as simple as, placing the hands on the scar, or being like, I am going to just walk down the alley today, or shoot, I didn't do it, but these are the things that I am proud of myself for doing. So shifting that narrative in your head with how you approach self-care, because a lot of the times, like if I have a new mom coming in, they're like, my shoulder's sore and I know I should be stretching. But let's talk about the reality of that. Like, what does that look like? Also, you're taking a car seat in and out of a car every day. Who can do that ergonomically? No one. So like, have a cup of tea, read your favorite trashy magazine, and be kind to yourself. Start there. And then, yes, there's amazing options in the Valley for going, if you do want to be like, I do want to try this like mom and baby yoga class. Great. I do want to go to this class that's for postpartum mom workout class. Great. Do you make it to every class? Maybe not. And so, simplicity and kindness, those are my like rah self-care tools.
Goes a long way.
Yeah. And then like there's lots of things, like we have lots of home care supplies at our clinic and they're all things that I love to use. And so that's why they're there. But they're also quite simple. They're just like massage balls that you could be like, oh, I'm going to roll that on the bottom of my foot. And that's going to help actually open up my shoulder.
Right.
So, yeah.
While you're watching Netflix.
Yeah, while you're watching Netflix. Exactly.
So in your view, how does empowerment and self-care impact overall wellness? Like when you actually can see people participating in this kind of self-care, how does it impact their overall wellness that you see, especially in the therapeutic setting that you're in?
Yeah, I think like when you, especially with the post-surgical care that I see, like I see that shift in them and that hope and that enjoyment of connecting with their body again and being like, yeah, I was able to do this today. I was able to swim or whatever it is. Right. So I think that part really ties into that, what I was talking about with the self-care and the kindness to yourself, but then it actually does turn into an empowerment where it's like, oh, I was able to do that. And I think anything we go through, whether it's having a baby or having surgery, there's that moment where it's like, man, that was really hard, but then it becomes a gift and you're changed forever with sort of who you are. And then that's that new you. And so you get to be the new you and adapt into that person and how you approach things. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I imagine that having somebody in your corner like you cheering you
Mm-hmm.
on,
Mm-hmm.
that can all like shift the mental health piece around it too. Is like,
Yeah.
okay, somebody recognizes what I'm going through, how tough it is, and
Yeah, that's
how,
right.
it's just
Yeah.
not an easy thing to find self-care a lot
Yeah.
of the time. And
Yeah.
just having somebody understand
Mm-hmm.
that and then caring for them in the way that you do is
That's right.
huge, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes you not feel so alone. And that also happens in like the baby massage classes that I teach, is that you've got then a group of parents together. And then if they feel safe enough to share, which often they do, then all of a sudden you have 5 people in the class saying, yeah, actually my foot's been going numb since I had a C-section as well. And so then they can hear that, and then I can be like, well, let's talk about what's happening there.
So let's switch into your coaching business. I want to hear more of that.
Yeah.
So how did you come to offer this service, and what areas of support do you find are the most needed among practitioners?
Yeah, for sure. This has been an interesting one for me because yeah, I've been working in the health and wellness industry for 20 years. I'm always happy to share. I'm always happy to share and collaborate. So I am that person that over the years people are like, "Hey, can I pick your brain on this?" Or whatever. I might get a message from someone being like, "How are your emails so pretty?" Which is cute. So I was just puttering along and doing my thing, and all of that was happening. And I was actually working with a local coach just before my accident, and she started putting that into my ear a little bit as well. And then when I was in my car accident, I had to keep my clinic open for 2 years before I was able to return in 2023.
Wow.
And so all of a sudden it puts everything in a different light. So you're looking at like, how do I keep my clinic open? Is somebody filling the soap? What's happening here?
Right.
And you start really honing in on your systems. And when I did hone in on those systems, which included like, please do not text me. This is how I need to be communicated if something's needed in the clinic. All of a sudden you're like, why didn't I do that before?
Right.
But then the other piece of it was that myself and some of my family members that were involved were going to clinics to get treatments ourselves, right? And so that was super interesting too, to experience like, how easy is it to book into this place? When I'm booking in with this place, what am I getting back? So if I have a concussion and I'm getting the intake form, or I went onto their website, I love what they're doing, but I can't figure out how to book in with them. I don't know where it is. I don't know where the booking thing is. I can't find their phone number. And then when I was in with appointments, a lot of the times, most practitioners these days use a software called Jane Online Booking. And it's very in depth. I've been working with Jane since 2016. And so I know it quite well. So sometimes the front desk person would be like, oh, so actually you can just like add my daughter as a family member, and then you can use my credit card to pay. And they're like, oh, how do you do that? And I was like, yeah, just go over here, add this, like do. And so it was just kind of fascinating, and how it was awesome. It was awesome to be able to be like, oh, I'm helping you. But next step was that I won a contest through Jane to go to this retreat down in Vancouver, Washington. And then that retreat was for wellness clinic providers, like wellness center providers. And it was the first time, kind of like everything we're talking about, where all of a sudden I was in a room with all these people that understand what it's like to be a clinic owner. And it doesn't matter what you do. You can be a doula, a lactation consultant, an RMT, but you could also run a brick and mortar, run a gas station. We're all connected because we run a business, and there's these underlying business parts of it. And so that felt so good. And I started working with the woman who was running the retreat, and she really gave me the confidence and encouragement to start my own coaching practice. And so that was launched this year. And it's been amazing. I have a group online that it's just a small little Facebook group, but there's like over 80 members in there. And it's just, it's about not feeling alone and having that support system. But also I am a Virgo and I love systems and organization. And so a lot of the times people are repeating themselves. Being like, I'm writing the same email. And a lot of that can be templates and automated. And so then it actually frees up your time so that you're able to go for that walk that you want to go for, or go for that cold water swim. And that is key. Healthcare practitioners take care of people and often forget to take care of themselves.
Yeah, I was just going to say, any opportunity to disconnect is really valuable. I'm finding that in my practice too, that, I love what I do, but I do find that I get home and my brain is still thinking about these clients.
Yes.
Even sometimes I'll be like, "Ooh, I should mention that to them," and I'll get back on my computer and I'm like, "Oh, I really need to let go."
Yeah.
Because I don't want to burn out. I want to keep doing this. So
that's right.
Yeah, I love systems too. And I think what you're doing is great.
Yeah.
You're just filling all the gaps in the valley is what you're doing.
I'm the silly putty.
Yeah. Yeah, finding cohesion.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. So when you're not working, you enjoy your family time, I'm sure, and contributing to the Comox Valley community. I've seen you do lots of different roles in the community over the years. Could you share what community means to you and how your involvement supports your work?
Yeah, I love collaboration and working with this community. And it's been really cool to see over the years, and we're obviously in a growth of the Comox Valley right now. So that's been interesting to sort of intertwine the newcomers and the people that have lived here for a long time. And so I had a really cool thing happen last summer where a client who came to my home-based clinic was a yoga teacher. And she was like, she had just moved to Cumberland. I think she'd only lived here for like 2 years or something. And she was like, "I'd love to teach yoga in your driveway." And I was like, I was like, "I'm willing to talk to you about that." So we met and I showed her all my yard and we walked around and she's like, "No, I really picture it right here." And I was like, "Okay, but
this is not
this is funny. I don't know. I can't tell." And she's like, "No, like," and I was like, "Okay, let's go with it." So we launched a trial on June 1st, which June is Pride Month. And we did it as a fundraiser and we had 25 people show up.
Wow.
And it was so awesome. And that just shows this community. Like it wasn't just people from Cumberland, it was people from all over. And it was great because we were able to give all the money to the Pride Society for their Pride Parade. But it was also just fun to be like, oh my gosh, the Comox Valley is up for like anything. If you kind of are like, "Hey, let's try doing it this way," people are like, "Sure, we'll try that out." So it ran through the whole summer. We had regulars there every week. I got totally nerdy into bird calls because like I was lying out there and I was like, "What is that bird?" And yeah, it was a really cool experience. So
cool.
I think that part of like community of like, think outside the box. How do we want to gather? There's lots of creative ways that we can do it. And yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah.
Speaking of the bird thing, I got totally into birds too. It must be the age. I downloaded that app, Merlin, and you can record what you're hearing and it'll tell you what the bird is. And oh my gosh.
That is what I did too. And then the bird was the Merlin.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use it on my forest walks all the time. So what do you envision for the future of Cumberland Village Wellness and your work within the community?
It is at a really like pivoting spot right now. I feel like I've got a really excellent team of really experienced massage therapists in the clinic right now, which I'm really proud of. And they all hold their unique skills with how they approach their treatments. And so I feel like that is happening. And then myself and Jen are really working on networking and getting the word out that we're doing this breast, chest, and oncology post-surgical massage, pre and post-surgical. I'm involved with the Transcare BC group. And so that's been really cool to go to different clinic mentorship calls to learn more about what's going on there. And yeah, I just want to stay creative and open-minded. I do want to offer more courses and group coaching through my coaching. And then I'm also looking, again, when I look at like what you said, filling the gaps, I still see there's still other gaps that I see. And I think Comox Valley is beautiful and it's rural still. Even though we are growing, there's things that are that you can't access here. And you might need to head south, or even like people that are North Island, what they have access to. So I want to look at creative ways of offering different virtual services that could be accessible to more of the remote communities, and what that would look like. And I'm not totally sure yet, but
maybe we should chat then.
It's on my mind.
Yeah.
And you are
on my mind too.
You are in that box.
Yeah, cool. And so I guess you'll still be teaching your baby massage and your labor massage.
Yeah, I'm teaching baby massage right now. And that's been cool too, because I used to have the space, but when I converted my clinic into having 2 rooms, I lost my own workshop space. So I get to teach around the valley, which is really great. So I'm teaching baby massage at Unfolding right now, and there's still space for drop-in. And yeah, I've done some work down at the midwifery clinics as well. And then, yeah, I'm very mindful of my 2025 schedule, and I'm trying to go into it with lots of intention to make sure that I can go cross-country skiing and things that are important for me, and then adapting my schedule around that. But I want to plunk the things in for me first and then get my schedule going. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for 2025. I feel good about it.
Awesome. Well, yeah. I'm excited to watch you keep going with it all. And yeah, if there's any other ways I can support you, just let me know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you bet.
Well, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to put this one out. And we'll talk soon.
Yay. Thanks. Bye.
If you'd like to know more about Kirsten and her work at Cumberland Village Wellness, be sure to visit her website at cumberlandwellness.ca or send her an email at Kirsten, Kirsten, at cumberlandwellness.ca. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you liked the show, be sure to rate it and share it with your friends, and don't forget to hit that follow button. Until next time, take care.